Hello students, a very warm welcome to you all in the accountancy class of class 11th. Students, in the last class we were discussing about some basic entry for a revisionary concept of your examination, and in this class we are going to discuss a important topic of the chapter incomplete record. Students, in the today's class we will discuss the conversion of incomplete record into double entry system to accomplish the basic accounting objective, that is calculation of profit and loss, and to ascertain the financial statement. Students, in this class we will also discuss that how the incomplete record maintaining firm can calculate his profit and loss, his effect of the profit and loss over his firm, and also many more things in the video. So let's begin. Students, as you can see that we are going to discuss the conversion of incomplete record in the double entry system, and in the conversion, while converting the records of incomplete records into double entry system, we have to make sure that what the things we have not done in the incomplete records in order to maintain or convert it into double entry system. As we know that the incomplete records focus on only personal account, few of personal accounts, and a part of that it deals with cash book only. Okay, to record the cash transaction, we prepare the cash book, and to identify the liabilities and the payment of the firm towards a particular person is denoted by personal account. Okay, and as we know, the basic objective of the double entry system is to calculate profit and loss, and to ascertain the financial statement. Okay, students, in the calculation of profit and loss, we have to make the financial statement, and the raw material regarding this are also needed. Okay, so when we try to prepare financial statement in the incomplete record maintaining firm, we have to assure that the all necessary items of financial statement is available in the books of firm or not. As we know that the financial statement is based on the trial balance, which is not maintained by the incomplete record maintaining firm. जब एक इनकम्प्लीट रिकॉर्ड की बात कर रहे होते हैं हम, जब एक ऐसी फर्म की बात कर रहे होते हैं जो कि हमारी इनकम्प्लीट रिकॉर्ड बना रही होती है और उससे हमें फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट बनाना होता है, तो जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि ट्रायल बैलेंस ऐसी इनकम्प्लीट रिकॉर्ड मेंटेनिंग फर्म नहीं बनाती हैं, क्योंकि इनका ट्रायल बैलेंस कभी टैली ही नहीं होगा। क्यों टैली नहीं होगा? क्योंकि ऐसे ट्रायल बैलेंस की जो वैलिडिटी होती है वो तब टैली होती है, ये ट्रायल बैलेंस तब वैलिड होता है जब सारे ट्रांजेक्शन कंसीडर किए हों। क्योंकि हम यहाँ पे इनकम्प्लीट रिकॉर्ड बना रहे हैं, तो ऐसे कंडीशन में बहुत सारे अकाउंट छोड़ देते हैं, हम केवल 2 अकाउंट कंसीडर करते हैं, दैट इज फ्यू ऑफ पर्सनल अकाउंट एंड कैश अकाउंट ओनली। इन दैट केस द ट्रायल बैलेंस विल नॉट बी टैली एट ऑल। ऐसी कंडीशन में हमें कुछ नेसेसरी आइटम्स चाहिए होते हैं फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट बनाने के लिए, ताकि हम अपने प्रॉफिट एंड फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन को जो है एसर्टेन कर सकें, और जो है इसके बेसिस पे जो है इसके लिए प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस भी कैलकुलेट कर सकें। ठीक है, तो जब हम फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन की एसर्टेनमेंट की बात करते हैं या प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस की बात करते हैं, तो प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस का सिंपल सा कॉन्सेप्ट है कि अगर मान लीजिए कि हमने जो है 1 लाख रुपए लगाए और साल के अंत में हमारा जो है 1.5 लाख रुपए हमारा क्लोजिंग कैपिटल हो गया, तो इस बीच का जो डिफरेंस है वही हमारा प्रॉफिट होगा। और बाकी ड्राइंग वगैरह की चीज़ें हम अगर साइड रखें तो ओपनिंग कैपिटल से क्लोजिंग कैपिटल के बीच का जो डिफरेंस है वही हमारा प्रॉफिट होगा। तो ऐसी कंडीशन में कैपिटल को एसर्टेन करने के लिए हम बनाते हैं स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अफेयर। स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अफेयर, ठीक है। और इस स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अफेयर के अलावा हम, ये तो हो गई हमारी लायबिलिटी साइड की बात। अब इस स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अफेयर में लायबिलिटीज के अलावा असेट साइड में भी अगर हम जाएं, ठीक है, तो असेट साइड में जो हमारे डेटर्स हैं, ठीक है, डेटर्स यानी वो पर्सन जो हमें हमारी लायबिलिटी क्लियर करते हैं यानी हमें पैसा देते हैं, उनकी भी वैल्यू हमें फाइंड करनी होती है। तो टोटल डेटर्स अकाउंट भी बनाते हैं हम, और इसके साथ साथ जैसे हम टोटल डेटर्स अकाउंट बनाते हैं वैसे ही टोटल क्रेडिटर्स अकाउंट बनाते हैं। और अगर हमारा कोई कैश हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमने प्रॉपर प्रिपेयर नहीं किया है, अक्रूवल मेथड से प्रिपेयर नहीं किया है, तो ऐसी कंडीशन में कैश अकाउंट भी बना लेते हैं हम, ताकि जो भी वैल्यू कैश में रिकॉर्डेड नहीं है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ अक्रूवल मेथड उसे भी हम रिकॉर्ड कर लें, ताकि हमारी वैल्यू प्रॉपर शो की जाए। तो अब मैं एक एक करके इन स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अफेयर, इस टोटल डेटर्स अकाउंट, क्रेडिटर्स अकाउंट और कैश बुक की बात करूंगा, ताकि हम जब फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट बनाने चलें तो हमारे पास फर्म के कैपिटल हो, ठीक है, और इसके अलावा फर्म के डेटर्स हों, फर्म की आउटसाइड लायबिलिटीज हों और फर्म का कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट पूरी तरीके से। तो ये सारी चीजें हमारे फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट को बनाने के लिए व्हेन वी आर मेंटेनिंग इनकम्प्लीट रिकॉर्ड एंड ट्राइंग टू कैलकुलेट द प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस एंड एसर्टेन द फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन, तो ऐसी कंडीशन में हमें ये 4 चीजें जरूरी होती हैं। अब एक एक करके हम इन सब की बात करेंगे। आइए देखते हैं कि हम स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अफेयर कैसे बनाते हैं। स्टूडेंट्स, when we talk about statement of affair, so while dealing this format, we have to create a format like trial balance, or you can say balance sheet also, that we have 2 columns in each side. First one is particular and second one is amount. In the column of particular, we will mention the liabilities of the firm, and meanwhile when we talk about the credit side, we deal with the various assets of the firm, and while dealing with the assets and liabilities, we compare all these and calculate the capital of the firm, which is very necessary to calculate the profit also. Okay, so now discuss what are the contents, what are the ingredients, what are the items should be needed to prepare the statement of affair. So let's deal. In the debit side, you can say the statement of affair deals with the outside liabilities, as we deal with the bank overdraft. Bank overdraft is also known as the liability, the loan taken by the proprietor from the bank. Apart of that, we also deal with the creditors and some outside liabilities, like the firm has taken a loan from the outside party, from the document that is known as bills payable, and a part of the bills payable we also deal with the various adjustments like outstanding expense if there is any, and a part of outstanding expense we can also deal with the unaccrued income. If we have collected any unearned income, it is also shown in the debit side of the statement of affair. And the main thing that we have to notice that this statement of affair should be as at a particular date. Okay, as we are considering a closing statement, we are considering a closing capital, then all these items should be on the closing date. Suppose we are dealing that this statement of affair is as at 31st March 2020, then all these content should be mentioned as per that. Okay, and a part of this, when we talk about the liability side, we will also deal some assets of the firm as at this date. Okay, 31st March 2020. This is the imaginary date. Whatever the date is given in the question, you will consider. Okay, but main thing is that the all things written in the statement of affairs should be as per that. Okay, now let's deal with the other side where we will consider all the assets of the firm like cash at bank, cash in hand, bills receivable, bills receivable, debtors. You can also say the debtors as a book debts. Book debts is little bit different from the bad debts. The debts which has been calculated for as a non-recoverable debt, that is known as bad debts, but the debts which we have to calculate, which we have to collect from the public is called debtors or book debts. जो पैसा हमें पब्लिक से लेना होता है उसे हम बोलते हैं बुक डेब्ट्स, और वो पैसा जो पब्लिक से हमें मिलने की उम्मीद ना हो उसे हम बोलते हैं बैड डेब्ट्स. ओके, सो बैड डेब्ट्स विल बी रिड्यूस फ्रॉम द book debts. It has been discussed in the previous chapter, that is known as financial statement. हम जब फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट की बात कर रहे थे तो हमने ये बातें की थी कि हम किस तरीके से बैड डेब्ट्स की एडजस्टमेंट डेब्टर्स में करते हैं. ओके, आइए इसके बाद कुछ और भी चीजें हैं जिनकी हम बात करेंगे, लाइक स्टॉक एंड सम मोर एडजस्टमेंट्स लाइक prepaid expense, accrued income, and if there is any fixed assets, it will also shown in this side as per the value of date. Okay, and when we deal with all these items, whatever the value of assets and liabilities are given, we will calculate the capital as per the balancing figure, as per the differential figure, and whatever the difference is given will be written in the deficit side. ऑलवेज माइंड कि जब भी हम अकाउंट टैली कराते हैं, चाहे वो स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अफेयर हो या कोई भी अकाउंट हो, तो जो डिफरेंशियल फिगर होगा हमेशा डेबिट साइड में लिखी जाएगी. अब ये जो डिफरेंशियल फिगर है, सपोज द टोटल ऑफ दिस असेट्स इज वैल्यूड एट ₹10 lakh. ओके, वैल्यूड एट ₹10 lakh. And the total of this side is valued at ₹7 lakh. When we found the difference of these two is ascertained at 3 lakh. This 3 lakh will be written in the debit side, in the deficit side, and as we can see, this is the deficit side. And when we talk about the statement of affair, always this deficit should come in debit side because this deficit will be treated as a capital. हम जब स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अफेयर की बात करते हैं तो हमेशा ये डेफिसिट जो है डेबिट साइड में लिखी जाएगी और वही होगा हमारा कैपिटल. ठीक है, कैपिटल एज बैलेंसिंग फिगर. ठीक है, and here you can say that the as per the example it is valued at 3 lakh. Students, as part of that statement of affair, we will also deal some more account like debtors account. As we have seen in the debtors account, in the double entry system, we will deal that all the receivable items, all the payment that we have to collect from the public, from the outside world is written, is mentioned in the debtors account, as well as here also we have to deal all the content, all the transaction from which we have to calculate, we have to collect the debts from the outside public or outside world. And when we have not prepared this account clearly, then we have to prepare debtors account in order to ascertain what the amount we have to calculate, we have to collect from the public. Okay, so now discuss the format. Let's draw the format. When we draw the format of debtors account, it is treated as an asset, and all the value that is increased this assets will be debited, and all the value whatever it reduce it will be written in the credit side. And as we know, if the opening figure is given in the firm, that will be written in the debit side. Opening balance of the assets will be written in the debit side, as well as this account is also an asset, it will also written in the debit side. Okay, apart of that, we very well know that the debtors are created with the credit sale. So whatever the credit sale is given for the period of time will be written in the debit side. Okay, and if there is any cancellation of bills receivable, it will also increase the value of debtor, and that is why bill dishonor is also written in the debit side of the debtors account. And if there is any payment, any remittance you have returned to your debtors, it will increase their value. अगर आपने अपने डेटर्स को कोई अमाउंट वापस कर डाली है तो ये उनकी वैल्यू को इंक्रीज करा देगा. तो ऐसी कंडीशन में कैश सेंड टू debtors will also mention in the debit side of your debtors account. And when we talk about the credit side, all the transactions which decrease the value of debtors, which decrease our collection from these person will be written in the credit side. जो भी ट्रांजेक्शन हमारे डेटर्स की वैल्यू को कम करेंगे या डेटर्स के पैसे मिलने वाले पैसे को कम करेंगे, वो सारी चीजें डेटर्स के क्रेडिट अकाउंट में जाएंगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ वी आर डीलिंग विद द क्रेडिट सेल एंड इट हैज बीन रिटन इन द डेबिट साइड, द रिटर्न ऑफ द दैट सेल will be written in the credit side. If we discuss about the bill dishonor in debit side, we will deal with the bills receivable or acceptance collected from the debtors will be written in the credit side. And apart of that, if we deal with the cash sent, we will deal with the cash collected from the debtors, and it will retain in the credit side. Okay, apart of that, when we talk about some more transaction, as if any debtors have declared that no amount will be recovered from that, then in that case it is treated as bad debts, and this irrecoverable amount reduce the amount of debtors, and that is why it is also written in the credit side. As well as if we allow some discount to our debtors, it will also mention in the credit side. Okay, now see, when we talk about the closing debtors, the value of balance CD will be the closing capital, closing debtors in the balancing figure. हमने जो जो अमाउंट यहाँ पे कंसीडर की है, इन सभी का सम टोटल करेंगे, और जो भी सम टोटल आएगा उस सम टोटल का एक दूसरे के साथ कंपैरिजन करके हम क्लोजिंग डेटर्स की वैल्यू फाइंड करेंगे, और यही वैल्यू हमारे क्लोजिंग कैपिटल के लिए जो है कंसीडर की जाएगी इन आवर बैलेंस शीट. ठीक है. एंड वन मोर थिंग स्टूडेंट्स, वॉच केयरफुली, इफ opening and closing debtors are given clearly, whatever the missing figure is not given in the question will also calculated with this format. Suppose करते हैं कि हमें opening और closing debtors दिए हुई हैं, हमें bill dishonour, cash collected, rates and return, ये सारी वैल्यू दी है, और हमसे पूछ रहा है कैलकुलेट द वैल्यू ऑफ क्रेडिट सेल. तो सारी चीजों को फॉर्मेट में पुट करने के बाद वी कुड इजीली कैलकुलेट व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ क्रेडिट सेल, एज वेल एज कोई भी कंटेंट इस फॉर्मेट का अगर मिसिंग है तो इस फॉर्मेट के बेसिस पे हम बहुत ही आसानी से उसकी कैलकुलेशन कर सकते हैं. लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल. एज सपोज वी हैव गिवन द वैल्यू ऑफ ओपनिंग डेटर्स as rupees 1 lakh, the value of closing debtors as rupees 1,50,000, the cash collected from the debtors is rupees 2 lakh, discount allowed as rupees 20,000, bad debts as rupees 10,000. And what we have asking, the basic thing we are asking, that calculate the value of credit sale. Okay, so as we can see that except the initial information, all these information are written in the credit side, and this will written in the debit side. If we want to draw the format, we can draw the format. If we want to calculate it with the formula, then we can also do so. Like the value of credit sale is equals to the sum of all these value, that cash collected plus discount allowed plus bad debts, okay, a part of that, plus closing debtors, and all these values are reduced from the opening debtors. Okay, now deal with the figures. The cash collected is given as rupees 2 lakh, the discount allowed is rupees 20,000, the bad debt is written as 10,000, the closing debtors is given as rupees 1,50,000, and the value of opening is rupees 1 lakh. In that case, when we deal with the all figure, that is 2 lakh plus 20,000, 2 lakh 20,000, 2 lakh 30,000, and 3 lakh 80,000, will be reduced from the 1 lakh value of product opening debtors, that will calculate the value of closing credit sale, that is 2,80,000. I hope I have cleared you all, and in the next class we will discuss some more formats, some more practical example in this scenario. Is that okay? Thank you very much.